Together with a number of others, Winnie was accused of plotting the Soweto uprising, a charge later dismissed. Although Winnie was already banned, the police raided her house.
It happened ever so suddenly at about 3 one morning. The cops, they broke the door down. They took my mother off to a police station. Then after a few hours, a big truck arrived and they just started loading things. Then they took me and the big truck to the police station, and my mother was told then that she'd be moved to Brandfort and were just taken there. It was quite shocking, you know.
Without any charge or warning, Winnie Mandela had been banished 250 miles from her home in Soweto. Her place of exile was Brandfort in the Orange Free State.
Winnie said, "Griets gaan maak. As ons werk, ons kan nou onze kinders by die griets gaan los." Met daar tyd, Winnie was nog nie hier, ons het nie griets gehad nie.
Winnie is really very amazing. There she is, banished to Brandfort, God-forsaken place, a place where the Afrikaner, I think very little of an African. To them, an African is someone that is there, that has been put in this world to serve them and work for them. So she gets there, and she revolutionizes the whole place.
She revolutionizes the whole place. Those are the words about one legendary icon, Mama Winnie Mandela, from another stalwart and another matriarch of our nation, Mama Adelaide Tambo. May both their souls rest in peace. Hello and welcome to Real Talk with me, Anele, on this Wednesday evening. After a befitting memorial service today at Orlando Stadium, one thing that stood out for me, especially as a mother, is the countless sacrifices that Mama Winnie had to make as a mother to her own flesh and blood, so she could be there for every other mother's child. A selfless leader and a servant. In our tribute series today, I have Griselda Ganana Dudumashe to talk about Mama's family legacy, her unimaginable courage through her personal struggle and victories. Later on, Dineo Ranaka is also in studio. Another one, Another one. It's been a while since she was last year, and you know she's been busy building her own legacy for her children. But first, help me welcome Griselda back to the show.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
The first time in this studio.
I know, last time we did it in the house.
Yes.
Well, welcome to my real house, honey.
Thank you. I want to rub shoulders with you. Land, right?
That thing. You know, there's a video currently on loop. Yeah. I think every news agency is running it, and it's you looking up to Mama Winnie, and I think she's wiping a tear, and she's holding you, and she's saying something to you. And I know everyone wants to know, what is she saying to you?
Well, some of the things I can't disclose because, you know, the world will hold me up to it. I can't prove it. But what I can talk about is the fact that she was saying, I'm now ready to go. You know, when a figure like Mama Winnie says, I'm now ready to go because I take comfort in what you stand for. I love what you represent and continue having a voice. And I mean, I just could not stop crying. And she was just wiping those tears to say, it's okay. It's okay. And for me, each time that clip plays, I'm saying that it was preparing me for this moment. And these tears still dropping. Each time I wipe, I remember Mama's words. I remember the echo. I mean, amongst the things she said is that I love the fact that you are passionate about telling our stories whilst we live. And your assignment is finding your Winnie Mandelas and tell their story. Now that you are a writer, Mtanam, go out, find them. There are so many of them, they're still alive. Get this women's league to help you do this. If it's the last thing that they do as a legacy, so must be it.
And you know, now that you mentioned that you're a writer, I mean, one of my favorite books to date is still your book.
Oh, I'm
right?
humble, thank you.
And I go back and I draw such parallels between you and her. I mean, you walked a good 600 Ks. 300 Ks, but no, 6 days. That's what I'm trying to say.
I only arrived the 7th day.
Looking for your mother as a child. You know, so when you are privy and you understand the relationship that Mom Winnie had with her daughters.
Yeah.
You know, do you draw the parallel between your own struggle of looking for a mother and your mother?
It's interesting that you reflect on that, Anele. One of the things that I'm always asked, when you connect with Mama Winnie, what's the one thing that you take away? When I started talking about my HIV status, I received this call, and you know, you can never mistaken Mama Winnie's voice for someone else.
It's much like
and it
Mandela's
was quite
voice,
distinct. It's just,
both of them had these
exactly.
voices. Yeah.
And this voice, and I kept on pinching myself, am I dreaming? Is this for real? And then she says to me, it's time, Uzekaya, we need to talk. And at the time, I mean, the attacks were just incredible. Because all I was simply saying is that we cannot have a viral, an immune deficiency causing virus and treat it with toxic medication without teaching people how to look after their well-being.
And also without food.
Because any medication says before, after meals.
Yeah.
What you are not understanding is that majority of South Africans who have this condition don't have access. They are poor, they don't understand the value of food. So we need to go back to those basics and teach people how to live. And the message was distorted to things. I mean, there would be times when I collect all these articles and things that are written, and I mean, how it's analyzed, the way I'm such a government mouthpiece, I get paid to say these things, and I'm thinking, and then I would question God, why do you expose me to such when you're not going to equip me with the power? And then the call comes and Mama says, Danam, you are enough. What you need to know is when you stand for something, there will be noise around you, and around also, your character.
You know, coming from her,
looking
at the
what that then represented, it took me to that moment when I eventually got to find my mother. When she opens the door, I mean, throughout the 7 days, what was pushing me through that journey, what was giving me courage through that journey, is her opening the door and saying, welcome, Tanam. And she opens the door, she says, Ufuna Anila. That defined the leader I become, the woman I become, the mother I become, because it is the rejected one. So for me, rejection came as second nature. So here's this figure. I mean, I have no words to describe Mama Winnie. And she says, you are enough, you are loved. She said it in the most authentic voice that was saying, it's your mother speaking through me. Saying, I nullify everything else that I did to you. And here's a moment right here, right now. I am saying to you, you are loved. You are doing something great, and never ever doubt your voice. Now, that was a voice, a tiny little drop in an ocean that was happening. That was my life at the time. That gave me so much courage. And for some reason, she then says, I can see that in your battle, as you try and figure out what your purpose is, you are looking for mothers. Let me be your mother. And what does she become? Just that, a mom. And this is why, for me, I mean, all these memorials and all the noise right now, it's okay for me to take a step back. I came here because I respect what you stand for. I've refused many interviews because I honor the memories I have with Mama. I don't need a spotlight to say, here's what she meant to me, because I can never find words that can help me define what she meant to me without even knowing. And when she read my book, she was like, this is what I was feeling. This is what I was sensing. You needed a mother, and I'm so glad that at the time when you needed a mom, I was there. And my plea to South Africa is, as we carry on with our lives, be it you are that individual who's just so hateful, full of spite, just think of the sacrifices that those children went through. And we need to do right by Mama Winnie's children. Do right by them, because I look at, I mean, people say they went and became ambassadors out of their own accord. But I'm saying that while she was alive, in trying to fix what was systematically destroyed by the system, we still take those children and place them in foreign countries. For me, it is just saying siyakuhlokoloza, Mamwini. Over and above the pain that you went through in your last days, you'll be separated once again by us that you fought for. By us, we'll separate you from your children. So can we do this right for generations to come? We saw what Mama represents today at the memorial to the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, all of them unanimously, their voice was distinct, that she loved me. Because that's what Mama was about. Her love was at, sometimes to a fault.
In her boundless, though, I just feel like she never ran out of it.
She never ran out of love. For her, it was always about, she had just this huge heart. Whenever you were in her presence, she will make you feel like you're the best thing since sliced bread. You're the only thing that matters at that moment in time. And for me, all we can do, seriously, is just to honor her memory by doing right by her children. She's given enough for this country, given enough for the world, for us to really stop these injustices. It's just so unfortunate and sad that to date, you still find people. I mean, here's a person who was part of those apartheid spies saying the entire team was placed to vilify Mama, to spy on Mama. And all that was bogus. All that was a lie. And we're still holding on to that. There are people, I mean, I watch some of these women leaders that whenever they get an opportunity, the first thing that comes out is that we love her, we honor her in spite of her faults. Who's counting? Who's using the red pen? And who are you as you use the red pen?
Wow, Griselda. I can honestly say I didn't expect this was going to go this way.
I fully understand. You know why you're at that moment? Because you can connect what I'm saying to what I've written in that book, You're Never Alone. And you're connecting the character that is Mama. And my writing that book, those words, were simply about that. That let's restore family. There's just so much brokenness in our society, and hurt people hurt others. Can we not be that generation that continues to sow these divisions, these breakups? Our children are growing in loveless environments. For how long should this be? With what we know now, we know what we know to do better.
She is young, feisty, controversial, and for years she has braced our screens, airing all her dirty laundry for all of us to see. We've seen her build empires, get into physical altercations, have her heart broken, even her mental health break down, yet every time she comes back, it's with a vengeance. It is safe to call her the comeback kid in the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the way you have been on my back about this. And finally, she is here. Dineo Ranaka, welcome to Real Talk.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Do you know a fellow by the name of Lance Kloosner?
No, teach me.
Lance Kloosner was easily one of the best cricketers we've ever had in this country, right? But the beauty of Lance Kloosner was that if it was time to bowl, he would be the best. If it was time to bat, he would be the best. If it was time to lead, he would be the best.
Yeah.
If it was time to bring water to the rest of the team, he would be the best person bringing water.
Bring the water.
So earlier on social media, I called you the Lance Kloosner of broadcasting.
Oh, wow, I didn't even see that, really?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Stop.
Because if we're on radio, you are good. If we're on TV, you are kicking ass.
Oh, wow.
If it's time to be behind the scenes, you are doing well. If you are acting, you are doing... I mean, vele, you're an all-rounder.
Yo, Mina, I love what I do. I love what I'm called to do. I love entertaining. I love broadcasting. I love learning. I really love putting myself out there to understand things as they are taught to me and to practice until I don't get it wrong anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm like that. It's in my nature. I'm an absorber of information. Yeah.
You were 19 when you got to 5FM, right?
I was. I was very young.
Very young. And you know, there's almost a notion, oh, you can't be that young on national radio. What are you doing? Did you go into that with everyone else's doubts of age? Or did you know, I'm here to learn, I'm just going to swing.
Anele, I'm so innocent in my approach to career, romance, life in general. I really don't overthink a lot of things, and I've developed a character over the years from when I was very young in primary school that just shuts out the external world. I shut out external voices. I'm so good at doing that, and I do innocently approach things as I figure things out. And I went into it so innocently. I went into it so naively. I went into it not even knowing what the world of radio has in store for me, what it could become for me. I just know that I was tired of being a receptionist. I felt that I was not called for this. I was called to use my voice, but not saying...
You know, Shuku, my printing company, good morning.
Nothing wrong with being a receptionist at all. If you're one, be proud. But I felt that was not my call for purpose and duty.
So when people are calling and you're the receptionist, so you getting oh, you've got a nice voice.
I got that all the time. I got that all the time, and it didn't even register at the time. When I went into radio, it didn't register that you're doing this because you're told you've got a nice voice. I just thought, I want to know where the SABC is. I took my last 20 rand, I got on a bus at Gandhi Square, and I said, SABC, please. The bus driver dropped me off there, and that was it. The rest is history.
I can relate to that because I remember growing up, and anytime you had to write to the SABC, I mean, back then you had to post things, they would say it, and then they say Auckland Park.
Auckland Park.
2006.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
And the entire time you're just like, hey man,
I need to go to this place.
I need to.
I need to see this place. And I did. I'm one of these people that believe that I am the most powerful being in my world.
Yeah.
And anything that I think, which is very cliche, we hear it all the time, but I'm constantly practicing and testing my own theories. I believe I can be a kick-ass broadcaster. Let me give it a bash. I believe I can sing. Let me try it out. Whether people like it or not, we'll see. But I believe that anything that I desire to become, I validate myself. I do not need validation from a varsity, from an Anele, from this source, that source. I validate my own theories, and I take them out into the world, and I say, let's try it.
But then,
let's try it.
Then you go through these ups and downs, right?
It's important.
At the downs, what doubts are going through your mind? Do you doubt that you'll ever go up again? Or do you ever doubt that, was I ever even good at this? Was this?
Yes, there are those moments. I'm not even going to lie to anyone. There's those moments, even now, when I'm not going through a down.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I'm battling insecurities. I wake up in the morning and even when I'm running desk on radio, during moments on radio, on air, whatever it is that I'm doing, you fight the demon away. You have to remind yourself of your personal confidence, your internalized confidence. This morning on the radio show, we're talking about what motivates you. Are you internally motivated or externally motivated?
That's a great question.
My motivation is constantly internal. I don't even rely on my children to motivate me. Because if my kids turn out to be people that I don't believe in, or if they decide that they're going to go in a different direction in their lives, and I'm not for that cause, I'm not for that direction, that means I've lost my source of motivation. So for me...
And then you'll think you did a bad job.
Yes, I'll think I've done a bad job. When I'm in my down, I accept quickly the down. I'm a very fast acceptor. I'm like, hi, girl, Shem. And I speak to myself like I'm my own friend. Hi, Chomam Opro. Chomam Maunandota.
Chomam Azifrat.
Hi, Chonga. Kupane weave, Shem. Afford Tisana. Awen, just relax and then just look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, cool, but what's the value in me? And the value in me is that I can still talk.
Yeah.
I've got all my limbs intact. I still have a bit of a huge brain in my head. I can still figure things out. And in that down, I process insecurity, I process doubt, I process everything that is negative. I don't stay there for too long. Cultivate, quickly come back to resilience and just bounce back up again. Because you can be your own toxicity.
Worst enemy.
Yeah, you can be your own worst enemy by staying in the negative for too long.
Because I also believe, you know, people don't hate you as much as you can hate yourself.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And people will never love you as much as you can love yourself either. So for me, also in my downs, you know, it's so important that God is a constant in my life, has been forever. When my parents lost everything, they lost the house, they lost the car, they lost the money, I wrote them a letter. I think I was in grade 3 or grade 4. And I said to them, don't look back, you're going to turn into salt. You are placed where you are placed because you're going to go to another place in your life. And that's always been me. I always believe in journey. I always believe in self-restoration. And you can't do it relying on external. You have to internalize it. So as you are made in a mirror image of God, you are the world of God internally. Access that, tap into that power, tap into that place. Pastor Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe taught me something incredible. He says, of all the places mentioned in the Bible, the one place that you cannot physically visit and locate on a map is Eden. Ask me why. You are Eden. You are your peace.
You are birth.
You are birth.
Yeah.
You are death.
You are creation.
You are life. You are creation.
And also
so be careful what you cultivate inside of Eden. Be careful what you feed the Adam and Eve of your Eden.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Because that will be what manifests, that will be what grows. So I bounce back because I nurture my Eden. Even when I'm broke, my Eden is never broke. Even when I'm crying, my Eden is never crying. Even when I'm mourning, I protect my Eden.
Yeah.
My Eden is the farm and the soil of everything born of me.
Okay, now I get why you guys wanted her to come so badly. All right. Listen, Dineo has never been one to come to a fist fight holding a white flag, whether it's a Twitter feud, a family argument. She comes in swinging. She's set in her ways, and as a result, is often misunderstood. Remember, our WhatsApp lines are open, all yours now. Any questions for Dineo? She's all yours. She'll answer them when we come back. Dineo takes us deeper into her past.
Come to Mama.
Now, I understand that you're not my friend, Mewak, but also as my mother, you need to let me go.
Yes,
let me go and be my own person. Let me go. Let me go.
Do the right thing. You
Let
cannot
me go.
just usatsibile gore o dula kae.
Onkgobile, ke tla tseba jang gore ke dula mo kae. O a o
Now, tshwanetse o
kgathalle.
tsamaye le bana.
A o kgathalle.
Ha o kgathalle bana.
A o kgathalle.
Ha o kgathalle bana.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I come from there.
Babe, I remember watching that episode. I'm like, Dineo, please stop speaking back. Utlo klappa, please,
Oh
please
my
stop
gosh.
speaking back. And your mother, she had this line. It is the first time I heard anyone say klappa. Get out.
Get out.
Get out. Klappa. I feel like, did your mother ever handle you? Like,
My mom's beaten me up a couple of times. You know, she has moored me a couple of times, and I'm glad.
yeah.
Wow, I come from there. I was, at some point, my Eden needed to be pruned, hey?
Right?
The grass was
It
growing
was
very
growing
wild there in Eden.
You were. But I mean, for
my
you,
goodness.
it's growth. For us, I don't know, it was pure entertainment. Dineo's diary was my life.
Can I tell you why I did Dineo's diary?
Please.
I just really wanted your average South African person who's obsessed with the entertainment industry and sees, you know, there's this theory of the corner office with the perfect view. And that's how people view the entertainment industry, as the corner office with the perfect view. They see the eyebrows on fleek, they see the makeup, they see this, they see
dress.
that, the dress,
Yeah.
the red carpet moment. That is a moment captured in an image. Beyond that moment, there is a person. Beyond that moment, there are layers of feelings, there are layers of frustrations, there are moments of nothingness.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do Dineo's diary, and I called it Mogul in the Making. I subtitled Mogul in the Making. Everybody took it at face value that I'm calling myself a mogul in the making. It was actually the concept of mogul being every one of us is a mogul in the making. And not mogul in the sense of monetary value, but self-wealth and self-appreciation. We are all in the making. You know, you need to stop seeing things at face value. You need to go deeper. You need to allow yourself to be gracefully broken.
Would you agree that everyone that the public sees, you know, in the spotlight, there are no finished products there?
No, there are no finished products.
Yeah.
Umama Winnie, as she rests in peace today, only now she's a finished product. In your life, you are incomplete. as you live and as you dwell on earth, you are restless in spirit every now and again. You are restless in thought every now and again. You are restless in culture, your mind, your spirit, your culture. By culture, I mean personal habit and personal traits when you have no audience. You are restless every now and again. There is no peace empilweni. We are all unfinished products trying to be complete, and death completes us.
So why then strive for it if we're never gonna reach it?
Because it's a beautiful thing to do.
Okay.
Life is best lived in discovery.
In motion.
In motion.
In motion.
The water, still waters run very deep,
Yeah,
right? And the power of water is seen in movement.
Yeah.
When a wave and the tsunami comes, that's when you understand the power of water. You'll never truly understand the force of water and the power of water when it's still. But when your life becomes a wave, rise and surf
No,
it.
stop.
Surf that
you
wave.
cannot
Because-
just carry on like you just didn't
because
say
it's
that.
beautiful.
You will never understand the power of water when it is standing still.
You'll never understand it. You'll never understand it.
Stick a fork in me, I'm
Anele.
done. Can we not just wrap up and go? No, there's still time. You will never understand the
No.
power of water when it is standing still. So you are water, so you can never understand your power if you
You're
are standing
fluid.
still.
If you're standing still, and if you're not
Dash it
trying to
all.
test yourself, if you're constantly going to be afraid and limit yourself because of Abanbazotine syndrome and because of your own insecurities and because of the devil in you, because we blame external forces, but no, you are to blame for most of your discrepancies with self. I mean, if you're constantly going to be still, and you're constantly going to be afraid, and you're going to sit in the shell because you feel, okay, maybe I can't, maybe I can, you'll never understand your power.
Okay.
Move, be fluid, enter into spaces, drive yourself, push yourself, create a wave of your existence.
And if you are water, water molds to the shape of whatever it
Absolutely,
is
be
going
fluid.
into. Therefore, don't be scared that you won't fit. You
My
are
darling,
water.
you will adjust. You have the capability to adjust.
Stop
My
it.
mother chased me out of home, you saw. That was not a lie. With my children, I said, I'll take them and we will adjust. I will take them, we will adjust. Today there is calm.
How many?
There's harmony.
So-
Because I adjusted.
How many times have you been told you're not marriage material?
Ask me how many times I've told guys
They're
they're
not
not marriage
marriage
material.
material.
I've been told quite a number of times. My recent marriage proposal from a vendor man, he said to me, when will you ever submit? And I said to him, when will you ever teach me the God in you?
Ooh.
Because I submit to what you submit to. And if your leadership qualities are distorted, I have nothing to submit to. Then I'm just letting go of myself. I'm fully much aware of what a man is and what a man needs to be. I can't teach you that, but I can see it in your actions. I can see it. I can discern it. So for me, if you're not my king, don't ask me for my hand in marriage. Don't.
Who is this guy?
I'm not desperate for you.
Who is this guy?
I'm desperate for the God in you. And if that God is lacking,
Yeah.
then you can't lead me.
But are you dating him?
No,
okay.
we've broken up. We've broken up.
Okay, because then,
We've broken up.
so you broke up because you could not see this God in him. It was not going to go any further.
Can I tell you something? When you speak of God, it's one thing, but when you act like God, it's another. So for me to speak of God and be proud and arrogant in your speech around God, but your actions are you know, for me, humility is the best leadership quality any man can have to tame a powerful force of a woman like myself. If you're going to be proud, you're going to destabilize and you're going to make aggressive the lioness in me.
But also, if you're too proud,
If you're too proud,
you're competing.
You're competing.
You're competing.
And I don't do competition. I'm a homemaker, I'm a home builder.
Yeah.
And you can't ask for submission. Submission is inspired
Yeah.
by leadership. A man should not be going to a woman and asking for submission. You can't go to a woman and say, when are you going to submit? It's not a clock.
Yeah.
It does not
You're like,
operate like
I'm
a bus.
free on
Athi
Tuesday.
PRT le. Le submission le like CPRT. Agna schedule. So uthi Gautrain iyasuka. Siya submita ngo-6, siya submita ngo-7. We automatically, as women, we become that which the man is. And the aggression in a woman says a lot about the man in you. So, come on. Leadership, guys, one-on-one. I can't teach you these things, but I observe and I know what's not mine. I know the Adam of my Eden.
The aggression in a woman says a lot about the
The
man
man
she
in you,
is.
yes, yes, yes.
Look,
Yes.
there's an old saying about being a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Well, it turns out that none of this applies when it comes to Dineo Ranaka. She has practically done everything, and there is more. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Just when you think she's on radio, there's an announcement that she's on to something else. Dineo is constantly evolving and it's hard to catch up. Fortunately, she's here to fill us in on all of it, loving all the WhatsApp voice notes that are coming through. So I need to honor your people because they are flooding in fast and heavy. Let's roll the first one.
Hello, Anele, and hello, Dineo. Dineo, I have this one question for you. Do you believe in tradition? Like, because I really watch your reality show on TV, and somewhere in the episode you went to a sangoma. Do you believe in culture? Do you believe that a sangoma can heal you?
I'm a very traditional person, but I'm more spiritual than I am traditional, and that spirituality is my tradition. So I do not disrespect anyone or anything in that space, or any practice in that space. However, I came to a spiritual decision to trust my creator because
Yeah.
ne
Yeah.
kopa go tlhalosa ka setso badimo baka
Yes, your ancestors.
my ancestors ba iriwe ke modimo
Yes.
wa ntlhaloganya.
Yes.
So they are from the creation of God.
Yeah.
And I respect my ancestors,
Yeah.
but it's God's will that ought to be done. And for me, God is the authority of me and God is the authority of my ancestors. So for me, I do not choose one
Over the other. They live, they coexist.
They coexist.
Yes.
However, do I subscribe to consulting Lema Sangoma on a regular basis?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Why did you go to that sangoma?
I went because I've never been.
Okay.
And I felt it's something I need to experience.
Can't knock it if you haven't gone there.
You can't knock it if you haven't tried it. So if you're going to say no, that does not work. Give something else to place on the table. And I could not say no because I haven't been. There was a debate in my family, as you saw on the show. My mother is not for it, my father is for it. Then I said, Mama, I've been of Christ with you together for the longest time. Allow me to be on this journey with my father. And I went on that journey with my father. Anele, I learned so much in Abapansi. I learned so much. I respect Abapansi with all my heart. So to answer your question, I am very traditional, very cultural, very gifted in that regard. But also my first point of consultation will always be Uthixo Somandla.
So did you find a certain element of healing though going to the sangoma?
I did.
Yes.
I did find a certain
'Cause
element
just
of healing.
unanswered questions.
Yes, that's why
Yeah.
I'll never knock it.
Yeah.
That's why I will not sit and judge a person oyo vakashela isangoma ati
Yeah.
uyofuna consult and so forth. I won't do that. I will not say hey, no, I won't do that because there was a sense of
Yeah. Yeah.
now I know.
Yeah.
And also there was a great valuable education that I took from there.
Yeah.
And I respect that space.
Yeah.
It's a sacred space. It's a black space.
And also you can't necessarily knock anything that helps you find the God in you.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
hear you. Okay, next voiceover.
Hello, Dineo. Hello, Anele. I'm going to keep this short. I think you should write a book.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
I did. Hi, girl. I didn't send that. Girl. Please. And so?
And so I will continue with the process.
Okay.
I will continue with the process.
heard.
Thank you for that. That is, I don't often seek validation externally, but when I do get it and it's unsolicited, I appreciate it, especially when it comes in the form of sincerity in that nature. I appreciate it so deeply.
And also just on a business level, it's nice to know you've got someone who's going to buy it.
At least I know I've got one buyer for my
You know
book.
what it-
Pre-order, girl, pre-order.
You know, just from a business level now, not a spiritual wholeness, just, you know, you have to pay the bills. You have to pay the
I've
bills.
got to pay the bills, I
So, there's a big similarity between me and you in terms
Tons.
of... Tons, ne?
Yeah,
and
tons.
you're aware of it. And
Tons.
people tell you and people tell me all the
Yes,
time.
tons,
all the time.
tons.
People like, you know, you remind me of Dineo. And I'm like, yes, I know.
I
And,
know,
I'm
know.
proud of that.
Yes,
you know, I almost
thank
say,
you.
when they say, you remind me of Dineo, I say, thank you.
I get that as well, and I also say thank you.
Like, and go
Oh,
Yeah,
see.
thank you. Diabulela, because you're putting me on the same space as a person that I admire as well, you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And now, the one, because, you know, I used to stalk a reality show and I'd tweet you and be like, so, what's going to happen now? And luckily, then I got the entire season. And I was like, yes.
You Beyonce'd me.
No, I Beyonce'd her. That's exactly what I did. And I picked up a similarity is that both you and I, we have a bit of trouble letting go of things. And, you know, why people would call it hoarding. Talk to me about your hoarding self.
My hoarding self, ufuzo shem. You know, I take after my parents. My parents are hoarders and they'll deny it. They'll so deny it. They hoard. But I've learned to step out of that culture of hoarding and just learn to now let go.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not sure if you saw the feng shui episode when I went dramatic and I taught my parents to let go of the swimming pool. I brought in a tractor and we got rid of that thing.
And you burst the pipe?
Burst a pipe, messed up the yard, and it's hoarding. Yeah, man.
But because you know what I believe?
Feng shui, man.
Yeah, there's a
Clear the
psychological shackle to it.
Yes.
And because we were raised to not waste and raised to know the value of money and not necessarily the amount of it. You know, there's something that we're not facing when it comes to it. That there's a deeper meaning of us not wanting to let go. And I've been trying to find it.
Do you know where it stems from?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Especially in us, our the black community.
Yeah.
Forgive me for isolating everyone else. Let's zoom in here on the brown people. These brown people, right? Have you seen Kagnom Sebenzine?
Yeah.
Ukutya.
Yes.
Phuma ngebongo.
Yeah.
Amakhekhe aphuma ngebongo. But there's inqwaba yamakhekhe and inqwaba yokutya and inqwaba yehemere and inqwaba yomqombothi and inqwaba hey kuningi.
Yeah.
But our elders will hoard all of that.
Yes, and then it's like even the sweets.
It's painful to even just.
There's thousands of people.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
And it's in us. In the small little things like imisebenzi, imishado, and you know, funerals and stuff like that. It's almost like so it's almost like we're used to hogging things.
Yeah.
Things that soil the teeth and create cavities, let it go.
You close your mouth. I think.
Let it go.
And luckily we've got a clinical psychologist here because I was like, you and I have to discuss this. I think we don't realize how much poverty follows us because we are here now.
Anele.
Huh?
Anele.
Hold that thought. Because we're going to take an ad break. Because, you know, it's often easier to talk about other people's problems for our own, you know, our own good. But, I mean, I'm going to make us an example here. I have tons of things that I've collected, from clothes to kitchenware, things that I'm never ever going to use. But for some odd reason, I cannot just give them away. And I must admit, I am a hoarder. So I'm embarking on a journey to do something about it. After the break, we're joined by clinical psychologist Kosi Gianna to help us start this journey. But also, guys, I know you love Dineo. Please stop calling the WhatsApp line. Send voice notes. Because now you are disturbing people who are trying to send them a voice note so that they can talk to girl. We'll be back, eh?
This is my kitchen. My favorite room in the house. I love to bake and cook and have a friends and family come over for dinner. And I can bake a real nice cake. I was a law student for 10 years, from 1986 to 1996. I didn't take the exam to become officially, but I did study and prepare for it.
Okay, I'm not like that, okay? But I mean, I'm the same. I'd like to challenge everyone. Let's support each other. Let's go through this process of ridding ourselves of all emotional and physical clutter together. We welcome our resident wisdom guru, Kosi Gianna, clinical psychologist, into this conversation. So her and I have a question. Why do we hoard?
So there are a million, answers for different people, but in principle, there is that sense of insecurity within us, of a diminishment, because we have, in some way, consciously or subconsciously, attached ourselves and our sense of self to things. And there's a sense of a lessening. If I have this one thing less, there is one thing less of me. And so it is a sense of holding together of the self internally by holding outside, externally to things that they may have had value to us at some point. But the point is to recognize when they no longer do. But that's where we miss it.
They may have had value, but the point is to recognize
When they no longer serve you.
We hoard human beings as well.
We do.
Emotions as
We
well.
do.
I find that a lot of people, I always use the word chameleon. We become chameleons because we're afraid to let go of
a person.
relationships and a person that no longer serves us. Where psychologically do we then literally and physically tap into ourselves to crack that mold?
Yeah. It is about knowing that there is a me. We're going to that me again, you know. There is a me that is intact. You know, that Eden in us, that can never be touched by circumstance. That is whole and complete. And when we talk about the definition of being materialistic, it is not our relationship to things, but it is our relationship to the self.
That now finds value in this
Yes,
material.
it is our relationship to the self where we feel the self being enhanced by the having of things and fear the self being diminished by the absence of things. When we assess and when we have a sense of ourself being dependent on, whereas that self is unconditionally itself. And in its fullness.
You know, there's always a negative connotation when someone says you're materialistic, right? Is that why then we are even fighting the process of not being materialistic, because you can't even see that you're materialistic because you're so busy fighting that I'm not, you know, I'm not, you know, because when you say materialistic, you think gold digger, somebody who just wants cars, vanity and all of that. So I'm not a person who is vain. So therefore, this is why I didn't realize I'm that. So I'm blocking myself from the truth by fighting so hard.
Absolutely. You know, there's those 7 deadly sins. One of them is gluttony.
And gluttony is not limited to food.
No, it is not.
Gluttony is not limited to food.
Love.
There is spiritual gluttony, there is emotional gluttony, there's psychological, material, a whole lot of gluttony. But gluttony is, you know, it is the difference between, it's being a shemi when we are actually meant to be a sponge.
What's a shemi?
A shemi is the thing that you use to clean a car. That cloth.
It's that rubbery cloth.
It holds on to water.
Yes.
It comes in a
It looks like a skin type of thing. Yes.
Okay.
It's got a funny thing,
it's a strange
texture to it.
It's almost like a cloth where water doesn't go into it.
Yeah.
I see that. It's got that. It feels wet, but it's not
Yes,
wet.
that
Wet.
thing.
Yeah, I
That
see it.
thing.
I just
You
learned
put it in
something.
water, it doesn't go through.
Yeah.
Whereas a sponge, you run water, it comes out on the
comes
other
out.
side.
Yeah.
So that's what we become. We become a shemi.
So we should be a sponge.
We should be a sponge. Because when we release, we create space for newness.
Okay, I see that. I see that.
But
Can you imagine the seasons? You know, trees let go. Can you imagine trees refusing to let go of their leaves in autumn and summer? What are they going to become in spring?
we kill off the growth, isn't
which
it?
brings me to, what is the danger for a human being in me not learning how to let go? What will I be like at the end of life?
So what you hold on to holds you down. It weighs you down.
Amen.
It weighs you down so you cannot move forward. Because, you know, there's that principle that if you want to keep someone down and make sure that they don't rise, you have to stay down with them.
With them.
Because there's no other way to
Say
hold
that
them
again.
down.
If you want to keep someone down, you have to make sure that you stay down with them.
Absolutely. So
Because it's like pull down syndrome. If I pull you down,
you have to be down there
because
with
your
me.
your natural reflex is to grow, right?
Yes.
So if I pull you down, I let you go, you're gonna grow. But if I pull you down, I must keep you there.
And that means I'm limiting
but
my
means
growth as
I'm
well.
also must stay there.
Okay, I get it.
Absolutely. So in trying to sabotage another, it is self-sabotage.
So just by me, the material things that I'm holding on to, you know, I'm just holding on to them. All they're doing is holding me down, where I could just give them to somebody else and they can flourish with them.
And it's not just,
them.
yes, exactly, and it's not just holding you down, it is withholding from others.
What's the relationship between things that we hold on to and energy?
Well, you're trapping energy, aren't we? Because that energy is meant to be...
Water.
Yes,
water.
to move.
Sorry guys, time's over, but obviously this is a path. It is the first step to many. We are going to release all of our things, especially me. I'm gonna go into my house and everything that I don't need, we're gonna bring it here and we're just gonna give it away.
I'm gonna join you.
And how does that feel for you?
It feels good. It feels like, you know, I need space. I can't live with clothes. I can't live with pots. I can't live with pans. You know, I just need who my people are. That's it.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna do that.
And knowing the enoughness of things.
Okay. Thank you so much to my wonderful guest. What an episode, right? Thank you at home for joining in on the conversation. Tomorrow's episode, we talk about love, looking for love. Celeste Ntuli, who's in a movie about that, will be here. She's joined by our relationship expert, Kofi. Thank you so much for tuning in. Isidingo's up next. Good night.